Hey there, students. Today we're going to be talking about your faith journey. Now, you may have heard the term your life's journey, the quest for meaning, the search for the meaning of life. These are all roughly describing the same thing, but in this class we're going to be using the phrase your faith journey. And I'll explain what I mean by faith in just a minute. But let's get started. So from the moment your life began, you started an incredible journey. You weren't even technically a human yet in the sense that you would understand a human to look like. But from that moment that conception took place, your life began and it started heading on this incredible path that we're going to start trying to investigate a little bit more in this unit. What began with that moment of conception has continued for 14 to 15 years, and it has turned you into the person that you are today. We never live alone. We're always surrounded by things and influences in our lives that turn us into the people that we are. So for this unit, I want you to start thinking about what were some of those things that shaped me both positively and negatively into the person that you are now. In this PowerPoint, we're going to go over a couple of the influences that might be present in your lives. So as we journey through our life, we're not alone. At times we might feel like we're on our own, but in actuality, there's a lot of things that are always sort of circling around us, creating influences in our lives. One of those is people. Some people, like teachers or parents or friends, have the power to influence your faith journey quite heavily at times. Your family is a big one. Here we have maybe some of your ancestors who determined where you live, the culture that you have, the traditions that you keep. They might not be around anymore and you might not have never met them, but in a distant way they've affected who you are as an individual. Then there's the family that you do have now. Hopefully they're positive influences on you and they're bringing you up in a way where you have some type of faith tradition. Perhaps you were baptized at the choice of your parents. Perhaps you continue to worship in either the Catholic Church or in Judaism or in another faith tradition. Your parents probably had a lot to do with that, and your family plays a big role in your original understanding of who God is, what faith is. These people define religion for you in the very first years of your life. Oh, but we also have our siblings. Sometimes they bring out the worst in us, but sometimes they bring out the best. It's kind of a 50-50 depending on what day it is and what mood your little sister might be in. But even your siblings, even though they're annoying at times, also influence your faith. They might not even talk about faith, but they have a way of influencing how you understand the divine, how you understand your presence in the world. Moving on from family, we also have our friends. Now, especially in adolescence, friends play a really big part in our understanding of our faith journey. Our friends, especially at this time in our lives, have a lot more are a lot more influential in the decisions that we make and the things that we believe in. Now, sometimes your friends might lead you astray. They might not be the best influences. They might actually kind of steer you off course a bit every now and then. But hopefully you surround yourself with good friends. Friends who are nurturing, caring, friends who introduce you to new things, new ways of looking at the world. Friends who support you but also challenge you. Those are good friends, not like the other ones that we just saw. Moving on, there's also other people. Yeah, we have friends and family, but there are people who we may never meet or people who come into our lives only for a brief moment. But even if they, are on the periphery of your life, they can still have a big influence on you. For example, you could have role models. Here we see a photo of Mother Teresa. Now, you may have never met Mother Teresa. It would be incredible if you did, but she can still impact your faith. You can look at her as a model of someone to aspire to be like, a person who lived a good, righteous life. We also have teachers. Your teachers can influence you, both for the good and bad, hopefully for the good, but they are positive role models in your life too. We have priests, rabbis, pastors, ministers, religious individuals in our lives. Don't forget Sister Celeste and Sister Carolyn. These are women of faith who are impacting your faith journey as well. And lastly, we have just fleeting encounters with people, whether they be children, adults, the elderly. These are people who come into your life for a brief moment and then you may never see again. If you've ever had the experience of helping a stranger or someone who you don't know doing something nice to you, these are people who influence your life as well. Along with the people in our lives who impact our faith journey, there's also experiences. Traveling, getting a bad grade on a test, breaking up with a boyfriend, having problems in your family. These are all experiences that can shape your life's journey as well. Some may be good, for example, graduating from high school, going to a really great travel destination, doing something challenging in your life and succeeding. These are things that are good that can shape your understanding of God. And I mean that in the sense that they're moments that strengthen your belief in God. Now, along with the good, there's also the bad. Moments where, we might question the presence of God and his actions and his decisions. Even his, is he even there question. So some bad moments, for example, family problems, friend problems, these are things that, while they might seem negative or are negative, can impact your faith journey as well. Some events can seem mundane or ordinary, like going to school every day, or going with your carpool, or just sitting down at dinner with your family. These may be ordinary experiences, things that you've kind of happen, but they also shape your life's journey as well. There's also life-changing experiences, things like this, like skydiving, which I would never do, but some people do that, and the thrill of it opens them up to the thrill of living, the beauty of the planet. Things like traveling to a really cool destination that you've always dreamed of going to, experiencing different faith traditions. These are things that are life-changing that you'll never forget, but have an impact on your faith journey as well. But what does this journey have to do with your faith, this life journey that you're on? Well, there's a couple answers to that. All of these influences in your life have shaped your concept of faith, God, and religion. So even that mundane moment or that fleeting encounter with a stranger have in one maybe small way impacted your understanding of faith. Some of these may have strengthened your faith, possibly a participation in a religious tradition, the witnessing of a miracle, a really positive experience with your faith, whether it be with your family or your friends or just on your own. Some of these may have affirmed your belief in God or your dedication to your religion, whereas some other experiences or individuals may have challenged or even weakened your faith. A lot of people look at the presence of war or terrorism and are really challenged about, is God all-knowing? How would God allow something like that to happen? Is there a God? Especially after viewing something as tragic as that. But even if you are challenged or your faith is weakened at times, that's okay, because all of us are on different and unique faith journeys. No two people have the exact same faith journey. We all have a different combination of influences, both positive and negative in our lives, and that's why everybody's faith is different. No two faiths are exactly alike. Some of us, but not many, are on very straight paths to God. It's very simple and plain. You just kind of shoot down that road with other people guiding you along, and your faith is, for all circumstances, easy. Whereas the rest of us, and that's most of us, take a few detours, twists, and turns on our way to finding God. Some of us really hit a few potholes or roadblocks along the way, but that's okay because it's your journey. And oftentimes those twists and turns in the road are what make that journey so interesting and so hard fought. So, why does this matter? If this unit is asking you the question about who am I, you're going to have to start to think about what are the influences in your life that have led you to be the person who you are today. They might seem very small or at times insignificant in the case of your siblings or your family, annoying or maddening at times. but these people have created who you are, and that's what's important. So what I want you to do is to start thinking about, what are some of those influences in my faith journey? What are some of the twists and turns that my life has taken? What are some of the potholes or roadblocks? But also, who are some of the people really helping me along the way? The experiences and the life changes that have happened that have either strengthened or weakened my faith. So while you guys think about that, we'll be moving on in the course, and I'm excited to hear what you think about your faith journey. Thank you for watching. Bye.